The Kirby universe is like an ice cream sandwich. You got the wafer everyone likes, the wafer no one cares about, and then you got the ice cream, which is the key that holds it all together. If someone offered me the chocolate wafer that had been separated from the rest of the sandwich, I would tell them to not bother praying, because sins of that caliber cannot be forgiven. So after the Kirby team picked from the 5 generic mysterious entity names, they found their ice cream, Void. Void lives in the ice cream astral space between the dimensional chocolate wafers of the Kirby universe. He can't directly interact with anything, but when he finds a particularly strong cluster of energy that crosses over into his null dimension, he can clone a version of himself into that universe. This is just like when you're eating an ice cream sandwich, and you find a AIM-54 Phoenix missile inside, which detonates, causing some of the ice cream to spill over onto the chocolate wafer. It's still ice cream, but it's just not the same. Probably because of all the blood. And when Void does this, that's how you get... humans! Long ago in the Kirby universe, there were humans. You know, in case you couldn't tell by the human. After what seems to have been either a nuclear winter or climate change, lol, would it be me, they had to leave Earth and move to a new planet that also happened to look like Earth. That, or they just forgot about Shiverstar. Nah. Nintendo has too much integrity to just throw out decades of lore, which fans have become unreasonably attached to. Uh-oh, what's that? Why, it's an alien invasion, of course. Brought to you by none other than Vecto Alphalus. Thankfully, after much struggle, the humans then found out one of his 2 weaknesses.
Bullets.
I'm just saying, I don't think it was a coincidence that Kirby first finds the gun ability after he finds the remnants of human society. After the humans captured Vecto Alphalus, they then used his portal-creating powers to travel the universe and increase their strength. This is just like when you enslave an ice cream sandwich to gain its freezing powers. This was the birth of the Science Ancients, and after they met up with the Squidward race known as the Magic Ancients, they built all kinds of incredible things, like a giant robot, and you're not gonna believe this, but a multi-million-dollar company that literally mechanizes entire planets to steal all their resources for profit. Ran by a giant robot. Everything was fine until Void came into contact with a giant source of negative energy and sharded out Void Termina. Okay guys, the most powerful being in the universe is coming this way and is hellbent on destroying everything. What do we do? I got an idea. So with the help of Galactonite and the 3 other equally important knights known as the Other Ones, they were able to seal Void Termina away in the Jamba Heart. Great job, Galactonite. You defeated the most powerful being in the galaxy. But wait, if he defeated the strongest person in the galaxy, then wouldn't that make him, oh god! Jesus up. Thanks for sealing away the most powerful being in the universe. Think nothing of it. But wait, if Void Termina was the most powerful being in the universe, and he was sealed away by Galactonite, but then you sealed away Galactonite, that would make you... Get the hell out of my house. Now it's time to finally get to the games. One day, Void came across an insanely powerful chunk of positive energy, and poof, you got Kirby. Kirby's Dreamland! The gluttonous monarch of Dreamland, King Dedede, stole all of the food, and last time Kirby checked, stealing is illegal. So this time, he's putting the law in his own hands.
Fire!
Yeah! With the power of stick, I'll be unstoppable! After Kirby stops him, we go to Kirby's Adventure! In a direct attack against PlayStation, Nintendo removed streams to stop all illegal fan games. In order to prevent the console wars, Kirby must travel to the Fountain of Dreams in order to return joy to the land. When he arrived, he found out that none other than King Dedede himself removed the Star Rod from the Fountain of Dreams. Kirby then defeated Dedede and returned the Star Rod, which released the demon Nightmare.
Kirby, the era of dreams is over, and the age of Game Builder Garage has begun. It will be just as good as dreams, with none of the new images.
While this tempted Kirby, he knew what he must do, and he defeated Nightmare, returning dreams to the land. It turns out that in a surprise twist, Dedede removed the Star Rod because he knew it was possessed by Nightmare as a way to protect Dreamland. Kirby's Dreamland 2. The dark void entity, known as Dark Matter, attacks Dreamland and steals the Rainbow Bridge. In order to save Pride Month, Kirby uses the Rainbow Sword and defeats Dark Matter for an entire game. Kirby Superstar. King Dedede once again steals all the food. Maybe. Or this might just be a retelling of the original story. No one knows. But then Meta Knight wages war on King Dedede and his lazy rule in an attempt to take over so Dreamland can be better defended. That, or he's just a really involved fitness instructor. No one knows. But as Kirby's dealing with those problems, another one emerges. The Sun and Moon are fighting. Kirby then goes to end their feud, but in a surprise turn of events, it turns out that this was all a distraction orchestrated by the sociological genius, Marx. You see, Marx told the Moon that the Sun said his mom was fat, and Marx told the Sun that the Moon said his flares looked gay, which they were, but he didn't like it being said in a derogatory way, which caused them to fight. Marx needed the distraction so he could get into contact with Galactinova, a robot created by the ancients that can grant a single wish. He then uses his wish to become more powerful and take over Dreamland. But Kirby, being the freedom-blooded capitalist he is, stopped Marx and went to bed. Kirby's Dreamland 3! I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is pretty much the same as the second Dreamland game, but it introduces two new void entities, Gooey, who was made from a large amount of neutral energy, and Zero, who actually created Dark Matter, and is the true final boss of the game. I talked about this one out of obligation. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror! One day, a terrible mirror appeared over Dreamland, and began to suck up everything. In order to save the world, Meta Knight flies into the mirror. Kirby follows Meta Knight into the Shadow Realm and finds Dark Meta Knight. You can tell he's evil because he has a scar, and only evil people have scars. After a long journey, Kirby finds out that Dark Meta Knight was actually working for Dark Mind, who might also be a void entity because he has a void eye. But something you gotta understand about Nintendo is that they just like to put eyes on anything without thinking about the consequences of their actions. Anyways, you beat him, Shadow Kirby shows up, which confirms that void can influence other dimensions. Squeak Squad. On a beautiful summer day, Kirby sits down to enjoy a lovely cake, when suddenly, the cake disappeared. This must be the work of that dastardly King Dedede. Blood will spill. Jesus Christ, Kirby! You've halved the Waddle Dee population, and I'm not paying for their funerals! You see, in a surprise turn of events, Dedede didn't actually steal Kirby's cake, and it was instead stolen by the people on the cover of the game. They also steal a chest from Dedede, which contains the famous Kirby character, Dark Nebula. Drawing anything more than simple shapes is hard, guys. Give them a break. For the next entry in the series, the Kirby team got help from one of the most famous movie directors of their generation, George Lucas. And by got help, I mean stole aspects they liked. Dark Matter returns once again, this time setting its sights on Ripple Star, the home of the fairies. But as their home is being enveloped, a fairy named Ribbon escapes with the only thing capable of defeating him. Forget this time, we promise. She then crash lands in Dreamland, where she finds Kirby, Waddle Dee, Adeline, and Club Penguin. What the heck happened here? Anyways, they then travel across space, gathering all the crystal shards until Kirby goes face to face with the true final boss, the man behind the man, 0-2 for the price of one brain cell. Kirby then defeats him with the power of friendship and a gun. He then returns to Ripple Star, where he was awarded with a Medal of Honor and a kiss. But in a surprise turn of events, the kiss causes Kirby to become so flustered that he falls down the stairs and dies. And that's the end of the Kirby franchise. Forever. Until part 2, because in the next games, things actually freaking happen!